Hi, everyone, and welcome to this seventh episode of the series Let's Talk Streaming. Today's focus is going to be talking about the dark side of streaming. And that sounds all doom and gloom, but there is actually I would say, opposite, or not the opposite, but I think there's something that you don't see in the average normal stream that you've been watching. And that's the hard things, the lack of motivation, and all of these let's say, or opposite, passionate feelings that you will go through as an aspiring streamer, and also as you become as an established streamer, and also I would assume, since I'm not there yet, successful streamers, that there is a flip side to the coin of being this passionate, outgoing streamer. So I've been streaming every day now for the past, now it's the 7th day of stream, going through post productions and making sure I'm spreading all of my content out on social platforms. And I'm in a state where I'm feeling, I wouldn't say I feel burnt out, but I feel definitely like my energy tank is running on low, and that is hard. And I realized also with the stream schedule that I set here 1 or 2 days ago with you guys on stream, that was, and I even said it at the time, that was optimistic and that I will need to do adjustments. And it's a life pushing back versus the passion, and in the middle, over time, we're going to figure it out. So that's something we would also look into doing today, adjusting the schedule, and also talking about how to navigate being a streamer as you go and finding that balance that you consistently can schedule into your life and keep executing on, so that you can keep streaming over time, because becoming a successful streamer definitely isn't a short sprint. It's a long-term marathon, if that is your goal. If you just just want to stream, hang out with your buddies, share awesome gaming moments, then yeah, you can work that in whenever you want. So it depends a little bit, of course, of what you want. But for me, I thought, what a perfect opportunity to talk about the other side, the flip side of the coin in this stream. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, a lot of this is going to be mental. And actually, can I do this? I'm thinking if I should just, because I'm not going to share. I'm just thinking how the best to display this. Let's just do like this. Blank, simple canvas. Notepad to visualize ideas. So what do we know? So we know that everyone can do things when they are passionate, motivated, on the go, because it's easy, right? And that was me most of this week. And sometimes in life, and also with streaming, you got to show up for your audience. That would, I like to say, that's important. But what's even more important is that you show up for yourself, for your goals, for the direction that you're going in. In our case, streaming, right? We want to go from being, at the beginning, not streaming, being an aspiring streamer, wanting to stream. We need to show up to ourselves, commit to a goal to start streaming, and find our way, however possible, to start streaming. What's the next step? The next step is, of course, to stream, and being a beginner streamer, which I am in a lot of sense, or actually I am, and go through the hurdles of learning the technical setup and how to do it and what works, what doesn't work, and being in a situation where putting a lot of effort in and not seeing this results coming. And this, of course, based on today's society with TikTok and all of this fast flowing social media stuff, kind of feeds into this instant gratification, needing that dopamine hit of success type of thinking. But streaming as a journey is quite the opposite, far from that. In fact, it's more based along the lines of following principles like delayed gratification, that if you keep working an angle long enough and you grow and adjust along the way, based on the principle of delayed gratification, it's just a question of time before you actually start to see traction. It's almost like a guarantee, but it's under the premise that, of course, you evaluate your progress as you go, you take consistent action so that you can draw conclusions on it. And then based on those conclusions, you adjust. And for me, one of those types to put this into perspective on, because I upload all of these streams onto my YouTube channel, Streaming Zero to Hero. And I've had a situation where I couldn't quite figure out, but I just didn't get any views. And I know that it had nothing to do really with the video and the content I'm putting out. It's just YouTube didn't push it out. And I just couldn't figure it out. I mean, obviously there is something I can learn here. I can grow. So instead of feeling discouraged about it, which I had a tingling sensation of kind of feeling discouraged for that, I try to reshape my focus from that and realize this, okay, so this is part of the journey. This is natural. I would argue that every content creator, every streamer goes through something similar. Hey, why aren't my content getting views? Why aren't they performing? And instead of going deep into that negative state, I flipped it and seeing that, okay, I need to figure something out here. There is something I can learn here. That's the lesson for where I'm at. So it's part of the journey. That's like number one. That's great. Number two is, okay, so how does YouTube operate, right? Because again, it's not about the content at this stage. I mean, if it doesn't get pushed, getting 0 views, it means that no one is seeing it. All right, then we got to ask ourselves, why is no one seeing it? Okay, so probably it has to do something with when you just start to looking at YouTube, and this YouTube you can probably apply to TikTok as well, and also for Twitch in our stream here, because I've had a total of 3 unique viewers across the 7 stream, all of which was trying to sell me their designer service. Again, for that sake, it's coming down to me. I mean, on one hand, I could just ban them. On the other hand, I see that as an excellent growth opportunity to try and interact with them. They are, in fact, an audience and viewing my audience. Sure, they have an ulterior motive to sell, but I can use that as a great opportunity to exercise, let's say, and practice my skill set of interacting with the audience. Coming back to the YouTube and no views. So just by taking a step back, looking at this from, I have a great analogy passed down by my dad, or like he still lives, which is great. But he shared that sometimes you can't see the situation you're in because you're in the box, in the situation. But if you take yourself and kind of sit yourself up on the edge of the box, looking down into the box, which is the situation in our case that we're talking about now, I upload videos to YouTube, they get 0 views. Now it's not getting pushed. All right, now sit back and just observe what's going on here. So what happens? When you interact on YouTube, there's a few key elements. The first thing, depending on where you are, is title. Okay, so I need to work on title, which is something called copywriting, and that's not to scare you away, but okay, I need to work on making more compelling and better video titles. Next part, of course, is description in the same way. And then I would also assume thumbnails of the video, because those are the things that the viewers first see and interact with. And if by the miracles, which is the YouTube algorithm, I don't know how it's working, but seeing as no one is getting the views, it probably knows that these combinations I have of title, description, and thumbnail isn't going to go anywhere. So maybe it's just park it somewhere. I don't know. But those are things we can work on. And even if this is completely not how YouTube works, getting better and at crafting compelling YouTube titles, compelling YouTube descriptions, compelling thumbnails is skill development. So either way, I grow with my skills of post-production and pushing that content to YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. Now, why do I talk and put so much emphasis on YouTube in this case when this is about streaming? Because to grow your audience, you need to take action on multiple platforms, not just on Twitch. Because Twitch, as a beginner, it doesn't store your streams for a long time. It's just like 5 or 6 or 7 days, and then it gets deleted, which is a pity because it could be. And I've seen a few stories of this where a streamer had a stream or made some content, uploaded it at the beginning, got 0 views or very few views. It just sits for there. Then as they grow, they get, they find their audience, or rather, find how to communicate and interact and relate with their audience. So the audience follows and subscribes, grows, and then they repost the same video, or they found that video, and then all of a sudden the video just explodes. So there's a little bit to be said about timing, but we still need to grow to the point where timing matters. So that's why, for me, at the moment, YouTube is so critically important, because it's on YouTube, which I've also seen the most engagement. People coming in, commenting, versus, let's say, TikTok or Instagram. And it's not a lot at this point. I'm just started, right? But I want to focus on building that engagement. Just as I'm sitting here trying to interact with you on camera, I'm actually sitting now to a chat which is completely empty. And I've talked a bit about this. So here you can see there's no one in the room. But I want to achieve 2 things. I'm practicing engagement and interacting with my viewers. So I'm streaming as if I have a lot of viewers. But it goes beyond that, because I'm also trying to interact, or I'm actually interacting with you if you're watching the recording of this stream. And because you just don't know when you upload this stream, let's say, to YouTube, what will happen in a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months, a year from now. And it's also a way to store the videos so that you can come back to it and take this longer stream, repurpose them into short YouTube and TikToks, and upload those and see what happens there. And you also have a way of coming back and seeing just how far you come from those first early streams, so that you can see that you have grown. Because another real danger coming back to the whole dark side of streaming is lack of progression. The feeling of lack of progression can be really, really, really hard and demotivating. Especially since if you stream regularly or do any activity consistently, regularly, often, you don't see the growth and improvements that you do because you're doing it every day. Just as if you're trying to lose weight and you look yourself in the mirror every day, you're not going to see those significant improvements that you've done. But if you, let's say, compared yourself, let's say let's say you stream every day, hypothetically, whatever you can fit into your life, do that consistently, right? Talked about that in the previous stream. But let's take the analogy of going to the gym and losing weight. What if instead of looking in the mirror or standing on the scale every day and being demotivated, you actually just take a photo of yourself, or just look yourself in the mirror like once a month or once every 3 months? Then you will be able to notice the results, the difference. And coming back to the principle of delayed gratifications, as long as you keep kind of committed and consistent doing what you need to do, adjusting as you go, then you should have seen results. And if you haven't seen, let's say, viewer engagement, subscriptions, and these types of results, how have you grown in your skill set? For me, that's just equally important, if not more important, because a skill set you can take with you anywhere, and regardless of what happens with Twitch platform, what's the hot social media platform today may not be tomorrow, and so on. Because as these things change, you can just take your skill set, apply it somewhere else, adopt and adjust to it, because that's also a skill set we're growing, and you can move on from there. So as I'm going through this current time in my, let's say, beginner streaming journey of like, I'm run down, I feel low on energy, and I so really could use just taking a break and, let's say, not stream today. There's a case to be made for that, of course. But knowing myself, my personal traits previously, has just been that of, let's say, a master procrastinator. And this has been my excuse for so many years. No, I have so much time. I can do it tomorrow. I'm tired. I just need to wake up. Or everything else is important or more important than my goals and dreams. That's helping family or whatever. So what works for me in my case, and maybe this resonates with you, maybe it doesn't resonate with you at all, and that's fine. But for me, I need to go up, show, and do it anyways, because for me, that's how I build the consistency and also level up my mindset. It hasn't have to be the perfect stream. It has to be the longest stream. But I have to show up, take the action of starting and committing, because it's forming that consistency and that discipline of staying true and consistent to my dreams and goals of becoming a successful streamer. And there's another, I can't remember who told me, but there's a great quote actually on this. Anyone, and this is kind of where we started off here in the notepad, everyone can do things when they're passionate, motivated, and feel like it, but it takes a real professional to do it even when they don't feel like it. Let me say that one more time. It takes a real professional to do it even when they don't feel like it. Let's write that down. This right here, this quote, it takes a real professional to do things even when they don't feel like it. That's why I'm doing this stream today and sharing that there's a dark side to streaming too. And it's when you're coming up against yourself and your own mindset and limiting beliefs. And the real question is, will you let that stop you? Or will you see it as an opportunity to grow also as a person, to overcome them and conquer them? That's what I'm doing right now. I 100% absolutely believe you can too. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be the lengthiest one. Just start. Going back to my analogies to the gym on the same topic. Faced the same challenges there back when about 10 years ago when I was all into health and fitness and had a six-pack. I also had days where I didn't feel like going. And then I realized that, you know what? The only goal, the only workout I have to do today is to go to the gym and do something. That's it. That was the only goal. Some days I went in there, gone there, and realized that, no, I'm feeling a little bit sick, a little bit that, a little bit that. And I tried, and my body told me, today, this is a really, really bad idea. Okay, then I went, continued with the habit of going, forming that discipline, and then I realized that this is a bad idea due to health reasons to work out. So I stopped after 10 minutes after the warm-up, did a little bit of stretching, went home. Fine, I kept up with consistency. I felt good about going. And then in more often of the cases was I went, I did the thing, I worked out, and it turned out that that was exactly what I needed. Coming back to streaming today, I'm actually feeling better already, more energized, because even though I didn't feel like doing this, I still started and got on stream and talking with you guys, sharing this, and I'm staying true to myself and my goals. And you know what? I think that feels good. It feels good for me. If you're seeing this video and this resonates with you, just drop a comment, you know, how you feel about this. What mental mindset things are you facing that is holding you back? That's a hard one. That's a tough one. I think together, if we talk about these things, we can actually grow and overcome them together. And there's so much growth and potential laying in the other end of, let's say, navigating through that, if you see it as an obstacle, right? And I've had the sense that there's something great inside of me just longing to really get out and unleashed into the world, which I'm doing now. through this stream. And I think a lot of people also have this feeling. And if you feel that, I would love to hear it. And what message are you longing to get out there? And that's what's so inspiring to me with streaming, is that I see so many people now, regardless of age, find a way to get their passion and their message out there into the world, thanks to streaming and live broadcasting. And I want to be a part of making that happen for you by showing you the transparency of what it takes to going from someone who doesn't stream but wants to take the decision to start to stream and then start as a beginner, and also show that it's not all just sunshine and roses and happy days and going viral. It's also about the rainy days, the dark times, the having no energy and showing up and doing it anyways, and being transparent about it. Because I think there are so much, pardon my friends, overhyped up BS going on today about this perfect facade. And I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit tired of it. It's like, show the truth, stand on transparency and do that. And as you follow through your passion, I think you're better for it. Is it the magic recipe to become a success? I don't know. Honestly, I truly don't. But I think definitely it's something to try. And if nothing else, it's also being authentic to yourself. So that's why it was important for me that when I started this journey, to just commit for me to be authentic and show the good, bad, and the ugly. And I've been joking about it that when I fail, I'm gonna say that, because then if you watch that, you don't have to do the same mistake of failing the same way, so that maybe you are better off. And I would love to hear from you if you have fails or learning experience, that to share them as well, so that we can grow and get stronger together. And I think that's it on the dark side for now. So even though there is dark sides to it, there's also light. And to become a little bit philosophical, sometimes you need to go through those dark times, those dark moments, so that you can appreciate the light and the positive. And if that's the case, then isn't these dark times good times? Something for you to ponder on. Now, let's move on from this dark doom and gloom stuff, which is important to recognize, and let's move over to adjusting as you go, right? So, coming back to scheduling, which is what I will be adjusting now, because I have a need to adjust it now. Quick recap of my live stream, which was on scheduling, was that I didn't want to spend too much time getting a schedule up and running, because it's better to have something up than have nothing up. And I didn't want to end up in a hole. I have to find the perfect scheduling slot and things, because you can spend all that energy and you go through another week and then your schedule changes, or the circumstances for it changes. So I decided to just what made sense at the time, and then I will adjust as I go, because life happens and things. So let's have a look at my Twitch schedule and actually open up Twitch. So that was the add one, but I want to edit it. It's just that one. All right, so how to get to schedule after you set it up is you click your profile, go to creator's dashboard, then settings, channel, and then click the schedule tab. And one thing I realized that these are a bit long, and And the length is perfectly fine if there's a wide or deep topic to get into about streaming. But I also found cases like yesterday where the combination of being low on energy and having topics that just fly through kind of started forming the feeling of I have to like wing it and invent things to talk about, which I don't think turns out good. So, and it kind of builds this pressure on that I have to have this long session. So I'm actually going to adjust these and set them to 1 hour, which is more manageable. And it's coming back to the principle of lower expectations and not overcommitting in the beginning, and instead find that pace, that length, that consistency, that number of frequencies a week or a month that is sustainable for where I am now, and then grow from there. And I wanted to set the 1.5 hours because I needed to push against something, right? Now, having gone through the week, 7 days of streaming every day, I realized that I need to adjust this down because it lowers the pressure a little bit. And just because the schedule says 1 hour doesn't mean I can't extend over that. But it takes some pressure off for me in terms of promise to you, the viewer, that I will stream for this amount of time that day. So let's adjust this. So that was every Monday, 7 to 8, Tuesday, 7 to 8. Every Wednesday, 7 to 8. Thursday was already set up that way. All right, so that's Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. for me. That works. Feeling better about it already. Like I can do an hour every day. Then we have Saturday and Sundays. And I wanted to do 2 streams, one before lunch and one more into the evening, so I can try to reach 2 different types of audiences based on their availability. But I also realized where I am as a beginner, I have a lot of things to learn, adjust, and try based on my learnings and findings. As an example, coming back to YouTube again, I figure out I think that I need to try a specific format for vertical, like doing the same type of how-to style I've been doing now with a wide format, but doing it more in a vertical format. And I need to try things out. And then if I'm going to do double streams on weekends, it reduces my time window for learning, experimenting, and spending more time in post-production, let's say, to make these type of videos. So I'm actually going to delete the evening ones on the weekend. And start here. So I have some time to have, let's say, a weekend morning, wake up, not rush into things, stream, and I will actually adjust these down from 2 hours to 1 hour. So that means that I get now as I'm doing this, I'm getting like a sense of relief and like, yeah, I can definitely do this. And you will figure out what works for you in terms of scheduling, right? This actually means I have a frequency of 7 streams per week, 1 a day, 1 hour each. So that's 7 hours. So if we just play with the numbers a little bit. So it's 28 streams a month on average, like if you're going to count for 4 weeks. And yeah, it's probably going to be 28 hours too. So we do 1 hour by 7 streams by 4 weeks. Yes, it's the 28 hours worth of streaming per month. And I think that's very doable. And we can grow from there. And that's my schedule adjusted. Next thing I wanted to show you about adjusting things is, let's send it on over to YouTube and about adjusting format. So I've been thinking about why my YouTube short didn't get any views. And before I actually sat down today and actually looked at past week and kind of looked at my statistics and how these videos actually performed, my understanding was that I just didn't get pushed. I didn't get any views. And then let me actually make this a bit bigger. So here you can see it's like 2 views, 8 views. Some of this has actually gotten a few views now. This one is from July, and then I had a break. From October, it's been hit and misses, right? So my feeling was that YouTube isn't just pushing my views, but as I'm getting into this, I realized that some got pushed and some isn't really performing well. Why? It's an interesting question to ask, because what can we learn from those that actually got pushed versus those that didn't? And I think titles is one aspect. So 430 views, 5 likes, and it's a how to rename your Twitch stream. So it's very easy to understand what this is about. It's very understandable and actionable. And people who would click this is someone who wants to know how to do that. And maybe it's a bit curiosity driven too. And compared to these other ones, quick overview of season 1, episode 2, Let's Talk Streaming, it says nothing, I realize. Nada. And it's coming after setting up social media profile, which is at the end. So putting that one in the beginning and being it more what this is important. And then I realized that this video also went well, and it started with challenge yourself, set up basic streaming Twitch alerts. So maybe the challenge yourself is appealing. And again, we're seeing the trend here with set up basic streaming Twitch alert. It tells it like it is. This is what this video is about, just like this one. So titling is something I need to work with. And it needs to be something that they are interested in. I tried doing a motivational video about streaming yesterday. Don't wait to start streaming. If I can do it, so can you. They really know what the video is about and they get the message, so they don't really need to see the video if they even are searching for it. And when I think about it, would I put this into YouTube and actually search for this? Oh, not that way. So this is how I'm adjusting as I go, evaluating as I go, getting insights, and trying to have that, which I've been talking about so much, that getting a little bit better every day, every time I stream, figure something out, try something new, get a little bit better. The next step I want to look into is the formatting. So I'm actually going to open this up here. So here it's like you actually see the screen and it's moving and things. It's like a vertical format. This one also have this vertical format. Let me actually just pause this here. So my trailer thought now is this is looking very similar to another format for this type of how-to video style that is highly successful, which I will try and actually copy and mimic in terms of how this video is composition, in terms of its element, not actually just doing straight out copy and everything. Because we can learn things from successful streamers, successful content creators, videos that go viral. So let's take an example here, or actually let's just head on to YouTube and YouTube Shorts and see what we can learn. So there's a mixed bag of things. Let's do streaming and see what shorts we get. Here we just get all, so we do shorts. So if it's mainly talking, I guess here you see this kind of dual one. All right, so a lot of post-production went into this, and that will come naturally once you kind of learn it and do it enough times. So they are swapping between full talking person and showing the thing that's being talked about. Not sure why this came up with streaming. This got 4.1 million views 2 years ago. I got curious about this one. All right, so it's an introduction with just whole person. And then it's very relatable sad moments, all right? All right, so it seems so what I'm doing when I'm scanning is that I'm not so much interested right now in terms of what they say or how they say or even the captions. I'm more interested of how have they set up their elements here. So it's just the person talking, and then the caption is up top, and then it's live streaming, the title in the middle. And then since he's mainly talking, he shows himself talking and what he says a lot, and then do some snaps into other things suitable for what he's talking about. All right, so that's interesting. Same thing. All right, so if the main purpose of a talk is to talk, similar as this stream started, then it's better to just show you on camera and do the talk. Maybe that's something to try. I'm gonna actually write that down. Things to try. If it's mainly just talking, show myself webcam primarily, and do reinforcing. That's to showcase talk. All right, so that's something to adjust. Now let's see if we do this, since a lot of what I do is how-to style. So how to stream. Because I want to see the shorts and how those are compositioned. Can I want to see, I would like to filter or sort on views. Okay. We'll just scroll through and see. So with the talk, the face again. So I haven't been doing this. Yeah, okay. So what I've been doing in my videos when I do post-production of this type of how-to streams, I just don't move the desktop that I record. But he does, so that you can clearly see in the vertical what he's doing. And it also becomes a little bit more interactive and less static. So that's also something to try. that's something to try. And it's actually something that we already know worked in this video, remember? Because it, you see, it was scrolling. Something happening with the background, more animated, or like more motion. That's definitely something to try. What more do we have? Reflecting on the title, is it hard to become a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer? Enticing. So titling as well. Best games with grow your stream. Okay. Here's someone putting hashtags in the title. Interesting. Now, in this case, I don't think that the hashtag is doing much, but what it helps with is the... I don't think the hashtags is doing anything for the title. What I think it does, it helps the viewer that reads the title understand the category of the video. So if I have an interest in VTuber streaming and finding short video on the topic, this helps me know straight away it's for me. Again, if you're gonna talk, show your face. Reinforce what we talk about. But these still aren't hardcore how-to instructional videos. Reminds me a little bit more like vlogging, actually. Let's try something more specific. How to set up Twitch. And then shorts. This is again more vlogging and just talking. What I find interesting is I'm searching for a very specific how to set up Twitch for the first time. I'm looking for how-to instructions, but I'm not seeing that here. All I'm seeing is like general talks. There's more overview style content. And what I'm thinking now is, which is quite interesting, is that maybe I align and do the same. But I also wonder, what if I just make a how to set up Twitch for the first time and make sure I showcase that in less than, what is it, 60 seconds for YouTube Shorts? And I wonder how that video would perform, since I would assume that if you're putting this in the search field and looking for a short video, you're not really looking for these ones, maybe. And that's from a search perspective. If this flip by and you don't pay so much attention to the title and it's just coming up as you're scrolling through YouTube Shorts, then maybe that's why these are working. So here's an interesting thing we learned from Mr. Beat here, is that what he talks about, he categorized in this field that came up here, I believe. Caption is up top. Let me actually click this one. I don't want the audio to get distracting here. So again, it's if you're talking, it's a talking, let's call it talking head. And what do you think YouTuber wants? So he prompts the question, pop up, and this becomes a content segment of the video. And he talks about it, I would assume. And then the next thing, we had some more pop up, right? Yeah. So that's interesting. This is again also talking. So here we see the person talking. Switch over to reinforce the subject that he's talking about. All right. So what I will actually try today when I'm done with this stream is I'm going to try a few of these things out. Because in a sense, this has very little, well, at direct appearance, this looks to not have anything to do with streaming and everything to do with becoming a YouTuber. However, getting your content of your streams seen on YouTube can be a growth factor to drive them back towards your stream for live interactions as you record the content. And in that sense, it's highly related to streaming. And if I can fix this format, and I'm also going to show another case which I know about, which is Pirate Software, who is a highly successful streamer. You can see 2.4 million subscribers. And if we look at his shorts, so I'm just going to pull up a few examples. Just picking stuff at random. All right. So I'm just looking at the little thumbnail at the scroll. So this is more static a little bit. So he's talking about something. Caption center of the screen. Divided the vertical area 50-50. And he has something to highlight what he's talking about, or like in this case, Crash Fix, he's talking about crashes or something. And then a link to his Twitch account. Now we're saying that this directly relates to streaming because he's using YouTube Shorts as a way to promote his stream, so he can grow there. And I think this can aid in it becoming a positive feedback loop where in his YouTube Shorts, he drives audience to Twitch, which comes and interact with him, which in turn becomes content that he puts on YouTube, which gets more exposures. And like we saw, millions of subscribers on YouTube, and a part of that will go back to Twitch and also subscribe to him there. So he's growing both platforms and they feed off each other, which I think is quite interesting. Same thing here. Oh, it's the same one. Okay. So this is the same type of style, 50-50 vertical. He's gaming. So you could do something similar if you're a gamer that streams. And he has some green screen background and has part of the game as a backdrop. So it's relatable to what he's doing. Again, link or like a graphical element to Twitch. So that's something I need to do as well. Or would like to test to do as well, the games. Create graphics to promote Twitch account. Let's see what more it does in this one. Captions in the middle. This is interesting. Same thing here. And here, as it relates to me, I'm thinking that this part for me can actually be how to related when I showcase how to set up Twitch, how to download OBS and install it and configure it. it's the main content window, but it makes it relatable where you can see him too with the talking. So it's actually a merged version of what we started seeing, which was the when you talk and primarily talk, it's just you, and then you flip it out to whatever you're talking about to reinforce it. Pirate Software, I believe, merges the two in just one layout, which is interesting because I think it's significantly cuts down on post-production time, which is when you take the recording of the stream and then just makes a YouTube video out of it. And what I don't know about Pirate Software, and Pirate Software, if you're seeing this, I would really love to hear the answer from it if you want to share, is do you actually create this in a vertical format, having flipped your screen and recorded that way, or is this all normal screen format recording that you turn into this vertical shape post-production? Really curious to hear about that. So we could do more research like this. I'm just going to make a note of this, make for 50% content. Now, I could go on and try to analyze more of these things, but it doesn't matter right now because I have a few things to try already. And I think it's better to find a few things to tweak. And if you apply that every time and try to be a little bit better and then look at new things and you polish and you get better, you will naturally grow your skills over time and you're going to find what works. Versus if I spend 2 weeks just trying 1 week or 1 day or whatever, ever, just researching, because then it's just busy work. You can get some insights, but we already have significant insights that we can try in terms of 2-3 different formats, graphical element, hashtag and titles that we have plenty to work with as it comes to things to adjust and try. So what did you learn from this adjustment section we just been through? Comment below or write it in the chat. I would really love to hear if you get any aha moments. That's number one. But number two, I would really love to challenge you to take one of these things, one of those aha moments that you got, and implement them right now, today, into your streamer. And if you're not streaming yet, one of those things can be to just get started and actually go for it and start streaming. How you do that, I have a video on that, how you start doing that, because you can watch how many videos, do as much research as you can, but until you take action, nothing is going to happen. Nada. So that's my challenge for you today, and we're actually going to end the stream on that note. Take one of your aha moments that you got from this video, turn that into action, do it, and then come back and comment on this in the chat or on the video, wherever you see this, that this was my aha moment, and I did it, I implemented it. And I would love to see that and be able to just go, you are truly amazing. Because it is, because there are so many people who just dreams and not do it, not take action. And I really want to take you from being a dreamer to being a doer and pursuing your goals and becoming a streamer. That's it. I absolutely believe you can do this. Have a good one, and I will catch you in the next stream.